Thanks for that, Russ. Thanks for that. It's not a stupid question. It's not a stupid question. I'm happy to go at you about mini eggs anytime. What a cunt. Anyway, welcome to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. We are here to talk about the news this week, and I'm very excited. I've decided to ramp it up a bit and be a bit more lively than I usually am. People on the stream, they're here to see us wave, apparently. So everyone wave. Thank you, Duncan. Thanks everyone for the waving. Good waving, everyone. That's excellent. So introduce the team, I suppose. Russ, how's it going?
Sup. So we should just so that people don't panic and run away. When we say we're talking about the news, we're talking about fun news, not the actual news that's happening in the actual news, because that's just terrifying and depressing.
We can't keep up with that shit. That's fucking bonkers. I drove home and then fucking all kinds of other stuff had happened. I'm not saying I'm not going to mention the Tories though. I'm just going to say that right now because it is shambolic to say the least.
It's certainly entertaining.
I'm enjoying.
But it's also really depressing. Cause, it would be far more entertaining if it was happening to some other country.
It would be far more entertaining if we were just watching a bunch of poshos lose it. If I'm honest with you, but as it is, I think Nish Kumar said it best, which was he said, "I'd be wanking my dick off right now if it wasn't the country going to shit as well," or something along those lines. Which I think says it perfectly. Dan says, I don't know, the actual news is quite entertaining right now. It is. It's sad, you know. Duncan, how are you?
Better than the Tories.
Yeah.
I mean, good. Yeah, good. I don't know if anyone else has received their invitation to be Chancellor for a month. I think I've got February.
No, I'll give it a go for a bit. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. I believe actually the key news that we need to announce is that there's going to be a new game coming out. It's called The Chancellor. It's a new dystopian survival horror game where you have to survive as the Tories Chancellor for longer than
Chancellor
apartheid.
Simulator is probably something that is on its way, to be fair. There's
you start off as a culture secretary and you have to make your way up, and if you can pro-survive as a PM longer than you can survive as a Tory Chancellor.
Well, I was going to say, Tom would be here, but he's actually
on his way
Chancellor now. So, you know, because I'd imagine by this time, this even hits YouTube, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it'll probably be free by
Grant Shapps would have fucked it up somehow. So, you know, it's, Grant Shapps should aim to be the quickest Chancellor to leave ever.
Jeremy Hunt is the Chancellor.
Home Secretary. Grant Shapps' Home Secretary, isn't he?
He'll be Chancellor next week, probably.
Yeah, probably. Everyone gets to go, right? That's what they're doing anyway. Dan says, if I got made Chancellor, I'm going to raise VAT on toilet paper by a couple of pennies. That will get the nation finances squared up. There we go. Problem solved.
Toilet roll is getting really expensive. Has anyone know, it is much more expensive than it used to be. And you know what's really, really expensive now is fucking kitchen roll.
Yeah.
It's like £6 for a 4-pack of kitchen roll.
Do you need
Brussels.
both? I suppose is the question. Do you need both?
Yes.
Why?
I mean, kitchen roll is pretty handy in a house that has a lot of spills.
But so's loo roll. Loo roll does the job. The loo roll now is strong and tough.
No, but loo roll's too small.
Yeah, it's too small and too bitty.
And also it's upstairs, and I need the stuff down here. And the kitchen roll, loo roll, it just takes ages. And no, Stan, no. I've got little people.
Maybe we should make it a Too Much Time on Our Hands goal to get on Dragon's Den at some point.
Is
that still a thing?
The perfect mid-ground between bog roll and kitchen roll. Just one roll. Take it with you. It's
just called roll. Yeah,
nice.
There you go.
Roll for all your needs.
Wipe your ass on it. Clean up spilt orange juice. Not in one go, obviously. That would be silly.
Well, it depends what order you're doing things in.
Yeah.
I think we... I was just... I mean, there's no segue for this. I was also just going because I'm very happy news. Just in quite a jolly place. I'm talking of jolly places. Alex Eels, hello. Big shout out.
Oh,
Thank
yes.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you
so, yeah.
for going and seeing these two beautiful faces. Tom is still recovering from the fact that someone decided to go and see his face.
It was
He is blown away.
it's kind of unreal that actually happened as well. Thank you, Alex. And we've got to give a shout out to Claire as well. So, Claire,
Yeah.
thank you very much for going to see it as well. So, and thank you very much for listening to the podcast or watching the podcast or however you decided to consume us.
That's pretty much your two options. You can watch it or you can listen to it.
Do want to remind you though that there is no. I know it's a free exhibition, but you still can't get any money back. You cannot demand money for the time you've just wasted going to listen to these three guys.
There's plenty of other interesting things there.
Yeah,
That is true. It is like a really cool museum.
you go see that because like planes are in at the moment, aren't they? Because like Top Gun and stuff.
Planes,
Yeah.
are in.
Planes are a continual problem for me because I love the environment and I'm a pacifist, but planes are fucking cool. And that is a massive issue for me. The planes look fucking awesome, but every time I see one flying, I'm like, there's so much petrol. Like,
Well,
what's
it's
going
not
on
petrol, isn't it? Jet fuel, which is like kerosene.
now?
Or
Kerosene,
something.
yeah, okay. That's so much kerosene. That's so much fuel of some kind. Okay,
So, yeah, I know. I'm very well aware.
and also
Can sell you a
kill
carbon
people,
credit.
and I don't like that, but they look so cool. So it's
Really do.
It's a bit of an issue. Dan says loo roll is no good for dealing with spills. It gets bitty and stuck in the carpet.
No,
you gotta get the
you
right
can't-
loo roll.
You can't scrub anything with a bit of loo roll.
It does
There has
just
to
break
be-
apart.
But this is
I mean,
good for us. This is why the roll is gonna
Yeah.
do so well. You can't.
So
clean
what?
up a
Kitchen
spilled
roll
loo
with some aloe vera, just kind of like in it. That's the way forward, right?
Yeah.
There's probably a crossover. There's probably absolutely no reason why this wouldn't work.
Yeah, I can't see a single potential issue with us three coming
No.
up with an idea on a podcast.
I would imagine
I
no
have
one's
you
thought of
know.
it before. So yeah.
I mean, you could do it like you have your rolls all connected up, and then if you need it as bog roll, you split it off in half. Or
Oh my God.
it's-
Perforation down the middle.
Yeah, and then
Yes, Duncan.
On a sheet by sheet basis, because I've got to admit, I don't always need a whole sheet of kitchen roll. Sometimes that's
No.
getting a little
No,
bit
that
wasted.
is true.
And and you could just fold it over for wipage.
Is there something to do with the ply as well? That if you flushed it down the loo, it doesn't break down as well.
Kitchen roll is
This
not
is something
washable.
for the boffins at the science lab to talk about, not
Yeah.
ours. We've
gotta
come
get-
up with the idea. They're going to
chaps
make
in
it
white
work.
coats.
I mean, talking
Yeah.
about the lab, I've got to get a locksmith out because, funnily enough, I've lost the key.
Unbelievable.
Well,
Duncan's
that-
in charge of our future sustenance, believe it
Yep.
or not.
and I've lost the key. But I was ill at the time, and because I couldn't, Emma's going like, no, 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 because I couldn't breathe properly, but I was dragged out.
Something's just going to fly in and smack him in the face in a second.
Oh, because I was dragged out to Bray Head and doing a baby change with a screaming little shit of a child. And so I had to entertain him with keys. I then left the keys in the baby change. But obviously then no one handed them in. And so they've just vanished. I think they were left there. I haven't got a clue. The children have been a pain in the ass. I couldn't breathe. It's just rubbish. I was recovering from having no voice as well. It was rubbish. And lost the car keys. The car keys are probably actually the bigger concern, and they're going to be expensive to replace. I can't believe this is so middle aged. Let's talk about
It
stuff
feels
young
like
people
you're
do.
vocalizing just every thought that pops into your head.
Everyone does
Generally
have
my
that,
life.
that moment when they first find out how much it costs to replace a car key, and you think, "Oh, come on, that's just ridiculous."
No, I have no illusions. I don't even need to know. I just know it's just ridiculous because it's one of those wireless, contactless things. So all the electrics.
Nasty.
There's plenty of people you could go to and just get them to do it. They'll open it for you.
Criminals.
Yeah, criminals. That's what I was looking for. Yeah.
We've got a spare set of car keys. It's not massive, and this was a couple of weeks ago. But I was hoping Zen. There is going to be a spare lab key somewhere. I was hoping my method of Zen finding shit, which is generally if I don't look for it, sometimes it just pops up. and I find it unexpectedly, but it hasn't worked. Not
What
this
if like a
time.
tree person finds it? Like someone that's really into trees finds it and then breaks into your lab and just like starts scrawling everywhere. Trees rule.
I mean, they've got to find the lab.
They'll know. They'll know.
No one knows.
Fair enough.
It's top secret, right?
Paul said planes will be fine. They'll eventually switch to sustainable fuel. There we go. I agree. I hope so. Still kill people though, but they still look cool, and it's a problem for me. But there we go.
Yeah.
I've got loads of tabs and I can't read any of them, so that's a bad start. We're doing news tonight. I haven't even mentioned. Did I mention that?
No.
Big
Tonight
news.
is a news pod. Dan, over to you. News.
Over to me. Yeah. That was.
Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville teases the big screen future of Jackass. We never said where it was or wasn't the final film, talking about the last one. They got written somewhere and people ran with it. Knoxville shared with Variety. If we did continue, we would lean on the younger cast more and the old guys would take a step back, but still be part of it. I would have to step back because my neurologist said I can't have any more concussions.
Fair enough.
Yeah, probably for the best, isn't it?
It's probably time to start listening to your neurologist's advice.
He's I mean, if you haven't seen the new Jackass, it is really, really good. It is really funny.
Yeah, I need to have an evening to watch that.
It's a little bit.
It's not available
ridiculous.
on anything convenient here at the moment,
Not at the moment, no. Yeah.
but hopefully it'll pop up on something soon because I really do want to watch it.
Yeah. I say I really enjoy it. I enjoy stupid stuff like that though. So like, there's something about how cheap it all is. I think that really appeals to me, and how they're all very funny as well. I think that helps. So
Yeah, like they genuinely are funny people, and something about their chemistry just makes it so much more entertaining than just old men hitting each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Moving on then. Halo Infinite creator 343 announces first firm details on the game's winter update, which will include a beta for the Forge mode, which people have been waiting for, which is genuinely
Yes,
quite exciting.
it's still
Forge
not.
mode.
There's no Forge mode still, is there?
It's bonkers, yeah.
It's bonkers. You know how
Is this because I called you a cunt?
how are we going to get hundreds of nearly identical maps with big towers in them?
How are we going to get like different zombie modes? They might already be in there. I haven't played Halo yet, so maybe there is
I
already.
still haven't finished it. I might see if I can pop the Liz Truss lettuce cam in here with us, because it does feel like she might be gone by the time this podcast finishes.
Have you seen they've added tofu to it now as well?
They keep changing all the props and things that are in there.
Yeah, no, add that to it. Yeah, I think that's good. I'd like to see. Are they? I mean, that's how I want to find out. Is when they topple the picture of Liz Truss on there.
Yeah, this is the only news source that I'm going to use for this.
Yeah. Very, very good. So shall I just carry on while you're doing this?
Yeah, you just carry on. I'll sort it out.
Okay. The Rock teases insane audience reaction to Black Adam in London.
Insane.
There's
audience
the
reaction.
insane going, why the fuck are we watching this?
Yeah. Donned a colourful purple pink suit. Cry from the Man in Black persona he's had to maintain for the last few years. Looks like Black Adam is riding a nice wave of hype into the weekend. It's getting very average reviews, as everything I've seen. Personally, I think it looks a bit shit. Rock shared a video of the cast Black Adam arriving in London, the film's premiere with an event. An entire mob of DC movie fans turning out to make the premiere look like an actual event. What? Take a look for yourself and what the cast drip looked like. And in the video, The Rock below, we're not going to read that. But yeah, apparently it's an insane audience reaction for The Rock.
I don't know, I'm mildly intrigued by this. It doesn't sound like it's going to be the saviour of the DC universe that people were hoping it was going to be.
I have a controversial view, which is that I'm kind of getting a bit bored of The Rock.
I mean, he is very good and very charismatic, but you know, you can't. you can't just say we've got The Rock in it and that makes it good. You have to have some other stuff as well.
But The Rock does tend to only play The Rock.
Well, apparently this is actually quite a different role for him. He's much more sort of kind of serious and there's no sort of quipping and eyebrow raising in this. So I've read a few reviews of this. It sounds like he's perfectly good in it. Most of the people, it's not terribly compelling story.
I'd heard as well that Pierce Brosnan's the best thing in it.
Yeah, but Pierce Brosnan is always the best thing in anything he does.
Yeah, that's fair. That is definitely.
You can't
fair.
really. There's nothing you can do about that. That's just a Pierce Brosnan fact.
It's a bit like Timothy Dalton kind of steals Hot Fuzz as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then you get Pierce Brosnan in The World's End. He's one of the best things in that, even though he's only in it. He's only got like 3 lines.
That's Timothy Dalton in The World's End, isn't it?
No, he's in Hot Fuzz. Pierce Brosnan
Timothy Dalton.
He's like their old teacher in World's End.
Yeah.
Who tries to like indoctrinate them into the network's way of looking at things.
Is Liz Truss gone yet?
Well,
not as far as I know.
The picture is still up next to the lettuce, so I don't think she has. But
no, okay.
Yeah, it does. Like tonight does sound like it's been a real sort of like, are you seriously going to carry on after this kind of? Evening.
Like, how can she? They were picking people up and putting them in a. But we
Jeremy
talk
Hunt's
about
doing
fun
her job
news.
anyway, and sacking the people he doesn't want in the cabinet.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
She can't be having fun, can she? She can't be
No.
enjoying herself.
No, but you're right. Everything's got a silver lining. So it's. Xbox claimed PlayStation blocked Call of Duty from Game Pass for years. This is on comicbook.com, like all of our news. Xbox has claimed that PlayStation blocked Call of Duty from being on Xbox Game Pass for years. There's been a lot of chaos surrounding Microsoft's near $70 billion acquisition of Activision. That's quite difficult to say. The tech giant announced earlier this year that it intends to purchase the massive gaming publisher, which would give Xbox full control of Call of Duty, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, and more.
I mean, I can't really blame them for not wanting it on Game Pass.
So it said it treat Call of Duty like Minecraft. But Microsoft makes it clear that Sony's deal for Call of Duty includes restrictions on ability of Activision's Blizzard to Call of Duty titles on Game Pass for a number of years.
I've got to share this comment. Sorry, it's just come in on a different chat, but it's probably the funniest summing up. And this is very NFL orientated, but I know a few folk who listen to this also do other stuff. Anyway, is there some incredibly highly regarded 21-year-old politician that the Tories want to draft with the first pick next year? Sorry, Dan. It came in.
If while we're on it, I shared some hot news, which is that Nathaniel Hackett is next in line for the Home Secretary job. So there we go. A little bit of NFL banter there, I suppose, for anyone that gives a shit. So because of the restrictions that Sony has with the agreement they had with Call of Duty, it means that we won't get Call of Duty on Game Pass for a while by the looks of things.
Yeah, wow.
Which is kind of sad.
I understand it though. Like, I mean, obviously, if PlayStation have that leverage, they're not just going to go, yeah, go on, take the biggest game franchise of all time and have it on your exclusive platform. Yeah, sure, why not? They're gonna want to delay that for as long as they can. It's annoying.
It is, yeah.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Is it Sony going, can we have at least just one nice shiny thing, please?
They've got fucking loads of
There's
games. They're
plenty of
fine. They do, yeah.
Good stuff there. They just don't. They
do
just
okay.
They don't seem to be as slick at this. You look back at like the PlayStation 2 era and even the PlayStation 1 era, like the way they marketed it, the culture they built up around it, they were so slick at this, and they just seem a bit sort of asleep at the wheel these days.
Yeah.
But they kind of comes and goes in these things. Like you watch that Xbox documentary that's on YouTube, and they talk about how when the PS3 was released, they were like, we can't believe our luck. This is amazing. They've massively screwed it up. It's over-engineered. It's too expensive. It comes with all these peripherals that nobody wants. And then they went and released the Xbox One with mandatory
which is
Kinect.
bonkers. Yeah.
Like
After Kinect failed on the Xbox 360 as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. They were convinced that motion controls were the next big thing, weren't they? Like everyone was.
If everyone has a massive house with a dedicated gaming room that's like 12 foot by 12 foot and nothing else in it, it could have been, but it just doesn't work. And also, if you think about like most games, what you're making your character do, unless there is a game where your character spends all its time going, motion controls are not going to be the natural way to do it.
The only ones it work with is the dance games.
Yeah,
that's literally it.
Do you remember that Spike Jonze film? What was it called? Her. About the guy that falls in love with the AI on his phone. He plays a game in that, and it's like motion control, but he sort of he makes the character walk by doing that, and then you do that to make it jump, and that looked really well thought out. Like that looked like quite a good sort of interface. It looks like Lettuce Liz has had a little disco start.
Oh. What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm going to check the actual news. maybe this means she's retired. I don't know. I doubt it. No,
so are you on
nothing.
YouTube watching the Daily Star YouTube channel?
Yep. And it's sat next to Dan on our stream as well for no appreciable reason.
It could be... I mean, it's a good way of doing it. Like, you can watch us and also watch...
you don't have to stop watching
Cabbage.
Lettuce Cam to watch us.
Exactly, yeah. Next time, Big Jet TV... Next time it's a windy day, we'll stick Big Jet TV next to me, yeah?
I'm guessing Lettuce Cam has got 700 people watching it at the moment. 656.
I mean, that is quite fucking depressing. 700 people watching a lettuce. We're spitting out gold here. I've totally forgotten what we're talking about, but let's move on. Motion controls were what we were actually talking about. Yeah, and I agree. The dance thing. The best thing about Kinect was being able to turn your console off. On the Kinect 2 was being able to turn your console on and off by shouting at it.
Yeah, that was
which
good.
it very much did not need a Kinect for. It just needed a microphone built into the console. Yeah, I do miss being able to shout at the Xbox, actually.
Me too.
That was quite good.
I miss people rage quitting by shouting at the Xbox as well.
Especially when they're so angry that it didn't hear them properly and they have to shout it a few times.
Yeah. Xbox October update adds some handy new console features, speaking of Xbox and features. You're getting TV volume control on the actual Xbox itself.
Oh, that is handy.
So, control the TV volume from the console itself. Works through HDMI cable, and users can now find a TV volume option listed in the audio and music section. A simple little addition, but the idea is that it makes it easier for players to adjust volume quickly without having to look for a TV remote.
Yeah, that's quite cool.
It's quite cool, yeah. In addition to these changes, update the firmware for multiple controllers, made some alterations to the power mode names, made a handful of other changes. The Xbox app on iOS and Android has been updated to allow users to trim the length of their videos, making it easier to highlight exact gameplay moments they were aiming for. Which is a nice thing to do, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Not drastic, but they're nice little changes. So nice one, Xbox. Keep being Xbox, Just, keep on keeping on, I suppose. So we don't want to talk about that. We'll talk about that later. I'm trying to find Xbox Game Pass reveals. I figure we'll get all the Xbox games in one go.
Cool.
Xbox has officially announced a new set of video games set to join the Xbox Game Pass subscription service through to the end of October, and some good stuff in here. So, coming soon to Game Pass. So I've just clicked on a link I probably shouldn't have. So, coming soon, we have Amnesia Collection, Amnesia Rebirth, Gunfire Reborn, Soma, a load of good horror games, Persona 5 Royal, Signalis, Frog Detective, Phantom Abyss, and I believe Plague's Tale Requiem has just gone on there now. Like all on fucking Game Pass, which is great. And I'm tempted because I saw someone put up a screen from an old version from like 2003. But Football Manager's going on to Game Pass. And it's the kind of... I'm not that into football, but it's the kind of game I could really lose some time on if I played video games. But yeah.
Yeah.
So Amnesia Collection contains 3 Amnesia titles: Dark Descent, A Machine for Pigs, and Justine. Experience the horror that kickstarted the Let's Play revolution. Amnesia Rebirth, harrowing journey through desolation and despair, exploring the limits of human resilience.
Sounds like fun.
Soma, from the creators of Amnesia. And yeah. Persona 5 Royale. Really real disco going on there now, isn't there?
I can't say if it's disco or like a nightlight, because they've sort of put
Yeah.
a teddy next to her and put a sleeping mask on and put a little blankie over her.
Maybe that's it. This is one of the best ideas they've ever had, by the way.
Yeah, somebody should be getting.
Do you think people that work for the Daily Mail are kind of like, as they fear for their jobs through the phone hacking stuff, are like looking at what the Daily Star are doing and just being a little bit jealous?
Definitely. Like people are talking about this thing all around the world.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
It's funny,
Well,
but it's also
it might mean Australians might
brilliantly
know who Liz
humiliating.
Truss is, so you know.
Yeah, love it. Great idea.
PlayStation 5 controller DualSense Edge gets a new release date and new trailer. PlayStation
Still
5
got the sticks in the wrong place.
It absolutely has. Coincides with a new trailer showing off some of those features. Sony said that they're planning on getting one. You can start pre-ordering them on October 25th for $199.99.
That's not crazy expensive for like one of these
I
elite
have
pro
a feeling
controllers.
if
That's
I-
not crazy expensive.
If I
is
go
it?
for an Xbox Elite controller, yeah. How
I
much
think
is
they're
that?
actually more than that. And then especially if you start getting into like the custom color options on it, they can get unbelievably expensive.
Xbox Elite Series 2, $114.99. Maybe not.
Oh, okay. I thought it was nearer 200 quid.
I thought it was. I think it was at one point, but it's not anymore.
Okay.
If you go to the Microsoft store, it's $142.99. So that is actually considerably more expensive, I suppose. But it still doesn't feel, massively expensive if you're going to
And
buy an
this is
Elite
a
controller.
newer controller. The Xbox Elite 2 has been out for a little while now, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And it's got all the haptic bollocks as well on there, isn't it? So,
Hapty
that's always
bollocks.
nice. Yeah. All the important stuff, Have you heard about this stuff that happened at TwitchCon, which is horrible?
Oh, Adriana
Chechik.
Chechik.
Yeah.
Don't know who she is. Yeah, but she apparently had a big accident and she broke her back. She's had surgery.
In 2 places, yeah.
Yeah.
And TwitchCon basically had this foam pit where several people injured themselves because the amount of foam they put in was about a foot and a half deep. So everyone was like
Well,
diving
isn't like one of
into
those
it.
things you go into at like the trampoline park or like
Yeah,
gymnastics training. That's
Yeah.
that's unbelievable. That's really bad.
Let's read this out so I get this right.
I
heard
haven't
about
brave
this.
watching
That's like
the-
serious liability issues there.
Chechik
no one's
injury happened after the streamer jumped into a foam pit at TwitchCon's Lenovo even Legion booth. She had the instant. The pit is fairly shallow, offering little in way of protection from the concrete floor underneath.
Jesus.
Yeah, several people injured themselves and knew that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Chechik has discussed the possibility of taking legal action against TwitchCon for her injuries. I think fucking should. Though nothing new has been reported in that regard, it's likely that any legal action might be put on hold as she continues to recover from her injuries.
She's in a brace now.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched. There is meant to be a video or something, but apparently she was also saying no one from TwitchCon had, well, at the time, had reached out.
Probably trying to hide, I'd imagine, because surely this is a lawsuit. I'm aware. Apparently, she signed an NDA, but that doesn't actually really matter, does it? Like when it comes to stuff like that.
Well, I mean, it depends what the NDA. An NDAs are like they're like disclosure things. They're not saying that you won't Let's get
NDA?
into
Am I
it.
thinking of a waiver? I'm thinking like an injury waiver. I think she signed. Sorry, not an NDA. My bad. Yeah.
Well,
Well, it
also
depends on how
depends
that's
what
worded, but it would have to be there would have to be like a reasonable expectation that there's, been responsible.
explanation. If they've said yes, it's fine to do a somersault in or jump in,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
that is a different thing.
Yeah.
Whereas it's obviously not.
So that just a quick tweet I've just read. Alan McGuinness, my son has lived through 4 chancellors, 3 home secretaries, and 2 prime ministers and 2 monarchs. He's 4 months old. It's made me laugh. Where's Liz and the cactus gone? The
I
cactus
think she
cabbage
disappeared
gone.
for a minute. I can see it here, so maybe it's
That's all right.
just on delay for a second.
Charlie Cox teases Netflix cast member returning for Daredevil. As Bourne, he might not be the only one getting a second chance. It's Vincent D'Onofrio. Blah, 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 blah. Just going through this. This is really interesting. Hate to single anyone out. I would hate to speculate because I don't know what the plan is going forward. That's way above my pay grade. Continue. There are so many great stories to tell. There are stories to tell again that would be inconsistent with what we do in the comic universe. Like comic character under new writer, artist. It doesn't actually say anything.
So basically saying there are potentially more people from the old Netflix show that could be coming back into the MCU.
Yeah. Asked which Daredevil or Defenders co-star he hopes to see return in Born Again, Cox told, it was an absolute delight to work with everyone. Okay, that's the news there. Sorry. I should really read that before I actually plonk it on the news slab. Batman director Matt Reeves planning spin-offs for Scarecrow, Clayface, Professor Pig, and more. Matt Reeves' his own superhero universe brewing after the success of Batman earlier this year. The filmmaker said to have a world of films showing spin-offs in the world in addition to the Penguin series set to be soon begin filming. A new report suggests Reeves is developing both a direct The Batman sequel on top of other villains starring spin-off. Is this not exactly what we said, by the way? It's not exactly what we said.
Maybe
It's
they
similar
should
to what we
give
said.
up on everything else. Just do Batman stuff.
Exactly. Batman's... Yeah, exactly, yeah. In the report from THR, it suggests baddies like Scarecrow, Clayface, and Professor Pigs all possibly to get their own projects. Just Arkham Asylum TV series. How did they end up there? And then we'll have an episode or 2 on each of them. Yeah. On what Colin Farrell's Penguin series will be about starts about a week after the film The Batman ends. So Gotham is still somewhat underwater, apparently. Spoilers, by the way, I suppose, if you haven't seen The Batman, but yeah.
I had heard about it. I had heard.
Have you not seen it?
I still haven't seen it yet. No, but I that's not.
Do you want to borrow
because
it?
I was aware of that. Yeah, sure. At some point, yeah, definitely.
I'll drop it off. You can borrow it, or we can all watch it together and hold hands.
Yeah, come around and we'll watch Batman.
Yay!
But you can't
do
do
it.
the thing where you stare at me, making sure that I'm enjoying it as much as you think I should be. Okay.
I will.
Can we agree to that?
No, I can't promise
This is
that.
why,
Russ.
this is
And
why I
Russ,
can't watch
be
The Expanse
careful
in the
that-
same room as you. It's very hard to concentrate on something while somebody's making direct eye contact and fiddling with themselves.
You seemed fine with it during Top Gun, though.
Oh yeah, that's just how you watch Top Gun, though, isn't it?
I like the fact that I did that to you when we went to see it, and then both you and me did it to like Tom and Duncan.
No, but like, it's just the same as the. Like, are you?
Pay attention! Come on.
I was paying attention. I did get a bit distracted when you leant over, just tilting the popcorn and offering me some, and then I stuck my hand down in it. That was a bit of a surprise there. That's what's going to happen, isn't it? Russ goes round, Dan goes round, and then says, "Russ, do you want some popcorn?"
Yeah, except she'll look down and go, Dan, I think you've forgotten the popcorn. Man
It's
of
just
Two.
one small kernel there.
I said Man of 2. I meant Man of Steel 2 back in play, thanks to Warner Brothers execs, apparently. It's been 5 years since Henry Cavill played Superman in a new DC movie. And it seemed for a long time like the star and character were separated for good.
it's interesting, this.
Potentially could come back. Potentially a Black Adam versus Superman movie. we need that?
Isn't that just two toys doing this?
Pretty much, yeah. Which The Rock does in that episode of Family Guy at one point as well. So, you know, maybe that's exactly what it is. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, that looks really nice. What is it?
It's Left.
Oh,
Oh, it's so
I
good.
love a Left.
It's actually in a proper glass from Vienna as well.
Dan makes a very good point. Man of Steel 2, wasn't that the Batman vs Superman film? I think they're trying to sweep that one under the rug.
Yeah, I think that's going to be consigned to the. No, it didn't actually happen.
But the Martha thing, nope, didn't happen. A Resident Evil showcase has been announced for October 20th. According to Capcom, the live stream will feature new information on Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, the Resident Evil 4 remake, and more on the menu.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I mean, they're obviously, because I think it sounds like there's quite a lot of stuff in the works at the moment.
They've worded this wrong though. It said Resident Evil 4 is widely considered one of the best games in the series. What they meant was Resident Evil 4 is the best game in the series.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you could
and
just
many
take
would call it
you
one
could
of the
take
best games of all
the
time.
series out of that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what it says. And many would call it best game, one of the best games of all time. This guy,
Resident Evil
that's
4
it.
is best game.
His best game. There you go.
That's quite something from Russ, who is very much addicted to his mowing game.
Yeah, it's up there, but Resident Evil, you can't shoot people in the head and make a chicken come out of it in Lawnmower Simulator.
Is the ultimate lawnmower simulator in the village in Resident Evil 4?
Only
There's
if
not
there
much
were
grass to mow.
absolutely no zombies around, because that would ruin
You wouldn't want zombies
the
chasing you
relaxing
while you
Lawnmower
were.
Simulator-ness of it.
It looks like Resident Evil 4 remake will release next year.
What?
I just get the feeling they're going to fuck this up. I'm now kind of with. I don't know.
It's going to be like that first guy that you encounter in his house. If it doesn't feel right at that point, I'll be like, no, they've ruined it. And I'll stomp off and play it on the Switch.
While spying on 5 different consoles.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've lost it or something, so I have to buy it again.
So, the big news really is the whole Bayonetta 3 voice acting issues. Helena Taylor claiming she wasn't offered very much money for Bayonetta 3. And then it's come out that the other side saying that she initially got offered $4,000 for the voice acting for Bayonetta 3. And then it's come out, apparently, although some people are saying it's damage control, that she got offered $4,000 per session for a total of 5 sessions for Bayonetta 3. So I'm just kind of skim read a couple of articles, basically. The long and short of it seems to be, and this might surprise a few people, that voice actors are horrendously underpaid.
Yeah, like compared to more traditional acting, it is, even when you take into account the fact that it's far less time consuming. So like what would take, you go in for a session. If you're a voice actor, you're not there for months on end. But even if you sort of pro rata it to a sort of hourly rate, it's far lower pay than sort of on-screen
You have to
acting.
do so much work.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work. It probably is a bit not easier, less demanding than whatever you call acting in front of a camera, but it's still acting, and there's still a lot of work goes into it.
Okay, so earlier this month, Bayonetta 3 director Yusuke Miyata cited various overlapping circumstances made it difficult for her to reprise her role in an interview with Game Informer. But Taylor, in an October 15th Twitter video message, said that has now had over 9 million views as of the writing of this article, alleges that she was offered a buyout price of $4,000 to once again play Bayonetta for the upcoming game. That's a rate, Taylor said, that insults to me the amount of time that I took to work on my talent and everything that I have given to this game and to the fans. I don't want the world. Didn't ask for too much. I was just asking for a decent, dignified living wage, Taylor said, urging viewers to boycott the game and use money to donate to charities instead. What they did was legal, but it was immoral. In the days since, however, reports from both Bloomberg and VGC, who have done independent reports rather than actual, like based off actual releases from the games. It's Platinum Games, isn't it, that released this? They did some individual reports. Have cast some doubt on the specifics of Taylor's allegations, citing people familiar with negotiations and documentation, presumably provided by developer Platinum Games. Both outlets report Taylor would have been paid $3,000 to $4,000 for each session, at least 5 4-hour voiceover sessions, amounting to a minimum total payment of $15,000.
Which is actually still not very much.
No, I know. And
that's probably quite a good rate if you're just a jobbing voice actor doing corporate voiceovers. But part of, the same with anything, what Robert Downey Jr. got paid for the first Iron Man is not the same as what he got paid for the third Iron Man. Her voice is a part of the success of this game, and the pay rate should reflect that.
Taylor called these counterclaims categorically untrue and an absolute lie in response to those outlets. And as you say, that's not a massive amount of money, that even if it was the case. Some have also questioned Taylor's public suggestion that the Bayonetta franchise's revenue approximated $450 million, not including merch. That revenue number would require at least 7.5 million sales across the series, the first 2 games. Assuming that every single copy sold at $60. Yet public reports suggest the first game barely crept past 1 million copies. Once again, it's still going to be a lot of money. It might not be $450 million, but
I mean, if it crept past 1 million, that's still $50 million.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it would have taken to develop the game and pay everyone in it, but I'm pretty sure there would be quite a good profit margin.
So let's say, and let's keep reading this article. Let's say Bayonetta ends up selling just 1 million copies. Let's also say that those copies sell for an average of $35. Sure thing, Nintendo. Which would be abnormally low given Nintendo's general reluctance to significantly reduce the asking price of games. Even with these estimated, an upfront payment of $20,000 for voice work would amount to less than 0.06% of the game's $35 million in total revenue. It's a pretty small piece of the pie for the title character in the game. It leans heavily on distinctive voice as part of her appeal. Yeah, exactly. Not to mention, for a trained actress with an established history in the franchise. And while the raw outlet, I'm just going to read the article at this rate. It talks about that Sean Chiplock made $2,000 to $3,000 for his voice work as a number of characters on Breath of the Wild. Brian Deschart made about $4,000 as lead character of a AAA game by a studio that has many games. Compare that to other SAG-AFTRA members who earn residuals of 3.6 to 5.4% on secondary performances of theatrical releases, including DVD, digital sales, TV broadcasts. It's just, it's just not much for the work they put in, basically. And SAG-AFTRA as a union should be doing a lot more to get people paid. I know they tried striking, didn't they? But basically they just found a load of other people that wanted to do voice work. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a sort of thing that like jobbing actors might do between gigs and things like that, but there's sort of different levels of it. And if you want somebody who's going to sort of build a character and be part of your world going forward, the pay should reflect that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Come on,
so it's quite
a really
sad.
Successful game. Don't be cheap.
Yeah. And also, I want to buy it, so pay your actors better. D&D creator Wizards of the Coast Q3 revenue dropped $60 million on last year.
I mean, that's not really surprising. The comparator there, like pandemic time. So probably expected because that's got to have been like the most popular time for people getting into D&D and buying loads of books and things.
Also, Magic the Gathering is set to be released in Q4 apparently. So, I've released in fourth quarter versus third quarter last year. So yeah.
Didn't they buy D&D Beyond in Q3?
Yeah.
Or was it just their turnover that
this
just
is just
dropped?
revenue, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're too worried. What did they release during Q3?
Didn't Space Jammers come out
Oh, yeah.
in Q3? I don't know. Might be wrong.
Maybe. Anyway,
Shite trailer for a film. Joe Manganiello to co-direct Dungeons and Dragons documentary, which is just some exciting news that I'm all in on. Because I like Joe Manganiello. So, I'm just lumping in the Critical Role news together. Critical Role announces Return of the Mighty Nine.
for it's going to be in cinemas, I think, and it's a 2-episode. Is it 2-episode? Yeah, it's a 2-episode.
Two episodes set months after the end of Series 2.
Yeah.
Picks up a few months after the end of the original Mighty Nine campaign and reunites the team when they discover there are old chapters from their past yet to be closed. Hopefully not too many, because that will ruin my Dungeons and Dragons campaign right now. So whatever happens, we're branching out on a different timeline at this point, I think. So yeah. Where else? Alan Moore told HBO's Watchmen showrunners to never bother him again.
I mean, Alan Moore being grumpy about an interpretation of his work is nothing new, but it's always enjoyable.
Is that news? Exactly. He's basically just gone, get off my lawn. Don't call again.
In the time that HBO's Watchmen TV series, a live-action show follow-up to the comic book series by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons, was both released and later awarded several primetime Emmys, word had spread the original writer of the text wasn't thrilled with it at all. He hasn't liked fucking any adaptations of anything that's been released. So.
I think it's at the point now where even if he did really love it, he couldn't admit it. It'd ruin his image.
Later still, Lindelof would reveal that he was absolutely convinced that Moore had placed a magical curse upon him.
Would you like some breaking? Would you like some breaking silly news that? I just can't believe it. Apparently, the chief whip and deputy whip remain in post. They haven't actually quit their jobs.
What?
They haven't actually quit.
So they did quit though, didn't they? There was like a whole thing about
there were just loads of rumours that they had.
Yeah, no one had properly confirmed it, and apparently they're still there.
Or maybe they sort of did
they
quit and then
rescinded
all this happened
it.
and they've been made to unquit.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe they said they would quit, but they only said it rather than officially submit their resignation. So anyway, there we go.
He was more revealed he was sent a package ahead of the TV show's debut that included a letter from Lindelof, but also a powder blue barbecue apron with hydrogen symbol on the front, referencing Dr. Manhattan. According to the scribe, the letter began, "Dear Mr. Moore, I'm one of the bastards currently destroying Watchmen." Something he said wasn't the best opener. Moore adds, it went on through a lot, what seemed to me to be neurotic rambling. Can you at least tell us how to pronounce Ozymandias, for example? Yeah, apparently you just told him to leave him alone, which is, kind of funny. The Purge franchise timeline explained. How to watch in chronological order.
Does it
I love
matter?
the Purge films. So you start with the first Purge, funnily enough, which is not the first film. Then you got the Purge TV series, then the Purge, Purge Anarchy, Purge Election Year, then Forever Purge, and then the Purge 6? I don't know. Just it sounded like it was going to be more interesting than it was. Now remember, there aren't actually that many Purge films. So, why Star Wars Andor is a big win for Rogue One fans. Now halfway through, marking a high point for the series in critical reviews and viewer reaction. Feels safe to say that while Andor might not be a universal win in terms of making Star Wars fans happy, it is indeed a major win for Star Wars fans who love Rogue One, the movie that first introduced Cassian Andor.
That's all I need to hear. I'm so excited to watch all this.
I fucking love it.
We're halfway through She-Hulk at the moment, and then we're straight onto this, I think.
Were you going to watch what, sorry?
We're halfway through She-Hulk at the moment, which is excellent.
I liked She-Hulk a lot.
The bits that I've watched so far have been very good.
we've seen
Andor, I
5
haven't
of
finished
them.
the first episode yet, but I was sold in the first 2 minutes. I literally didn't need anything more. I was like, yeah, this is it. Fine, I'm good. Yeah, you don't need anything more. It's like, and Phil, if you're listening, you'll love this. I'm just going fishing. Just going fishing, so Dan knows. It's like if they made Blade Runner better.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's nothing like Blade Runner. For
The
starters.
opening it's really gritty, it's wet, and it's all really
It's
dark and
gritty
dystopian.
and wet.
It's the main 2 things you look for in anything, isn't it?
Oh, it reminded me of Blade Runner. Anyway, I saw it and giggled, and I thought I could probably wind Dan up a bit. I know it's nothing like Blade Runner, but anyway,
It's not. Yeah.
that's good. Nah. Phil, I hope you appreciate the attempts.
No. No. no.
He's not watching.
Yeah. Also, Blade Runner's a good film. So, Phil, shut up. I think I'm done news-wise, unless there's anything. Oh,
We didn't
Legends-
actually mention Legends of Vox Machina.
Yeah, season 2 coming in January.
Yeah,
As I mentioned, what they're covering? They're covering the Chromatic Dragons.
yeah. Like the opening trailer looks fantastic. It looks
I haven't
quite
seen the
funny.
trailer yet, so
Are they actually seriously nominated for some awards, like the Beads
they're
of My Love?
nominated for Best Soundtrack Award
Yeah, and
for
best song,
a song about bum beads. Yep.
Beads of My Love.
Yeah. So yeah, that's fun. But yeah,
Nice.
it's season 2. Season 1 was really good. Really nice way of. I can't believe they fit that much information into it, which is good. So yeah, well worth a watch if you haven't watched it yet. I'm hoping that means they'll do 99 as well, which is my favourite series they've done so far. Although I'm about 3 episodes behind on campaign 3, so I need to catch up. So yeah, I think I'm done. I think that's the news.
Newsed out. Boom.
Yeah. And Liz Truss is still in the job by looks of things.
Seems to be.
Yeah.
But, check back next week.
I was about to say if she's still in the job next week, I think we put it up again. Yeah. Anyway.
Crazy stuff.
Right, yeah, I'm closing up, aren't I? I've just remembered I introduced. So, okay, thank you for watching. If you watch the stream, everyone wave. Russ, you better wave. Thank you. Everyone, so thank you for watching. If you didn't, thank you for listening as well. We're back next week, most likely, with some shenanigans. Maybe something fun next week, something frisky.
Halloweeny.
Halloweeny. We'll do something Halloweeny next week.
Spooky.
Spooky slash fiction.
Mm.
Yeah. I think if we're going to do slash fiction, there's only one time that we should do it, and that is the most wonderful time of the year. We should
Halloween.
definitely do some Christmas slash
Oh
fiction
yeah,
this
Christmas. Sorry, I'm with Henry Zabrowski on this. That I love Halloween. I think it's the best time of year. Anyway,
year. We'll do something spoopy next week. I haven't figured out what yet, but we'll work it out. I'm sure.
Because our youngest son is really quite addicted to Thomas the Tank Engine. It makes it awkward watching, and there are a few episodes where it's not that different from. It wouldn't take much for it to end up in our slash fiction.
Dan's actually watching the stream right now. Dan, thanks for that one, Dan. By the way.
Yeah. There's a lot of shunting in Thomas sometimes, and sometimes it's a bit violent, and you're like, really? So, yeah. Interesting. So thanks for that.
So yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll do some spoopy stuff. Thank you, Russ.
Cheers, babes.
Thank you, Duncan.
Cheers, babes.
If you want to contact us, hit us up on the Twitters or Instagram, just at TMTOOH. Or come join the Discord. It's the pinned tweet on our Twitter, and it's the bio on our Instagram. A lot of fun happening in the Discord at the moment as well. So, yep, come join. It's a lot of fun.
Any other podcasts? Marveling Marvel? Anything happening, Dan?
Nothing yet. No, that's kind of gone to ground a bit. So we'll have a look at it. But yeah, thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you very, very much for listening. Back next week. And with that, Russ, cue the music. You can't.